Bienvenidos, soy la Bruja Espinada, and I am here with your pink full moon in Libra message. So let's get started. Right off the bat, we have a couple of cards. Let's see what we have. So we are in the full moon. It is a pink moon. So there is a lot of need for self-love, self-care, um, building healthier relationships with people you're close to, with the people that you want to build strong, healthy relationships with. So let's see how we're going to go about this. We have the Six of Cups, the Devil, the Eight of Wands, and the Two of Wands in reverse. And this is the first time we've had so many primary cards. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Seven of Wands, the King of Swords in reverse. We have the Queen of Pentacles, the Page of Cups, the Ten of Cups, Eight of Swords, Two of Wands in reverse, the King of Cups. That's a lot of cups. The Nine of Cups, the World in reverse, the Four of Swords, Six of Swords, Ten of Wands in reverse. I'm going to stop here. If I feel that we need any more cards, we will go about it. The Six of Cups. Six of Cups is actually one of my favorite cards because I feel that many people tend to get caught up in what was. And it's not necessarily a bad thing to reminisce on things, but this card, my favorite message of it, it's like, it's good to look back. It's good to remember, but don't stay there too long. Don't stay there too long. Don't stay locked up so much in your feelings that you forget that you are currently living. You need to be currently living. That is that reminder. It's a very beautiful reminder. A lot of the times, and it could go any which way. Why didn't I say this? Why did I say that? Why didn't I pursue this? I miss this person so much. I should have done this. There's a lot of what ifs and things that we get so caught up in that if we could go back, and we spend so much time focusing on what we should have done, we spend less time in planning what to do to move forward. And that's this reminder. Now, this is followed by the Devil. Now, the Devil is that indicator. This is I love the depiction of the devil here. So sassy looking. So mischievous. The Devil here is that indicator of bad habits, right? It is so easy to fall into a bad habit. And that most likely is what is tied with the Six of Cups here. These habits that you may fall back on easily, right? And just because it's simpler, just because it's familiar, and the Devil here is just that reminder, like, hey, these are all reminders of things you already know, right? And you can consider this as your local bruja tia, your local bruja big sis, reminding you about, hey, this is just an indicator that you have some quirks that need to be worked on. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but these habits of like, hey, you're wanting something better, you gotta let this go, right? Like frivolous spending, not providing yourself any self-care, not allowing yourself to rely on others, I'm trying to think of what else. Putting things off, with like procrastination. I am guilty of that because I feel like I work better under pressure, and yet that winds up always coming to bite me in the butt. But that's the thing where these habits, you have to take this time, right? Because this is the time for manifestation of how we are going to move forward with letting go of these old behaviors that no longer serve you, right? The devil's here as that reminder of like, hey, or it could be because we have the Six of Wands here, that looking into the past and beating yourself up about it is that bad habit, right? Where okay, you know the term of like too much of a good thing could be bad, right? When you look back about all the things, all the coulda, woulda, shouldas, you tend to, or it's rather express it, it's a good thing to do because you can use what that knowledge that you learned to not repeat that in the future. But if you don't move forward because you're so busy focusing on what you messed up that you can't focus on what you need to do, or you don't know where that is, that could be a bad habit as well, in still looking back versus looking forward. Now, the thing is that with this, and I feel like this may be the bad habit, is that it's time to start. You have the Eight of Wands here. It's time to start moving forward. This is a card of movement, determination, dedication. All of that you have is coming through, right? It is time to move. It's spring. It is a moment of movement and growth, and to begin the seeds have already been planted, right? Everything's going to start growing. Everything's going to be building up. And so this is why this is here. It's that hey, you can't just keep sitting looking back. Don't start wondering like, what's a bad habit? Because we tend to have more than one. Okay, we usually tend to have more than one. And instead of trying to decide on like, well, which one do I work on first? And then you spend too much time procrastinating there, nothing gets done. And how do I know that might be the indicator? Because we have the Two of Wands in reverse. Sorry, the Two of Swords in reverse. The Two of Swords in reverse, the swords, Libra, swords is the Libra's element of air. And this is where a decision must be made. Typically, this is depicted in the Rider-Waite deck as someone who is blindfolded with two swords crossed over, and having to decide which to choose. And so this is an indicator of indecisiveness right now. It doesn't matter what you choose, you got to choose something, okay? Now, we have the Seven of Wands. The Seven of Wands, so we have the Eight of Wands here, right? The Seven of Wands is another depiction of struggle. And it's not a bad thing. I'm just looking at the cards that follow. When you have the Seven of Wands, similarly, it is like the Seven of Swords, where there is some struggle, there has been some sort of obstacle, there has been some sort of, I can't think of the word. Let's stay with obstacle and struggle. There is an issue, right? And so when we have the seven, what do I want to say? glitching out a little bit, but it's a couple of different thought processes that comes into this. Whereas this obstacle, right? This I don't want to say obstacle. I think that's one of the issues is I'm glitching because I'm trying to think of the right word. I'm gonna go with a challenge, right? There is a challenge to overcome. And that's not a bad thing, that's a good thing. Whereas I've mentioned it before, sometimes as we're progressing, as we're growing, we will tend to have things pop up, like obstacles, challenges, whereas you are being put to the test. Is it a bad test? Not necessarily. What it is that we have to accomplish in this instance is I hate using the word test. Okay, I don't want to waste any time. Let's get through this. The bad habit of looking back, of needing to move forward, build upon everything that you've learned. Things are going to happen rapidly. You can't decide. However, with this card, it's telling you that it's time. You're going to persevere. That is there, right? But what follows is the King of Swords in reverse. Now, the King of Swords, of course, being an indicator of cutting the bullshit, someone who has learned to decipher and make decided decisions. You're not quite there yet, right? That's not a bad thing. This is what you are building to do. You're building that strength to be able to you're building that strength to be able to make those decided decisions without the hesitation of double guessing. However, that's a misconception. Whereas someone of this level of sovereignty, while they give that depiction of not needing assistance on being able to do things, it's because they are calculating so many different decisions in their head, right? They're looking at all the different pieces of the chessboard to see how things are going to move. Now, in this is you have been in other readings prior, if you've listened to the most recent ones also, is that there has been reminders of your capabilities, your abilities, your ability to manifest and work energy in your favor. And what this is an indicator of is you know you have that power, right? And you may not be so decided on how that power is going to work. And as you are understanding that this is what you're going to be building upon, this is kind of an indicator of use it wisely. Learn to use it wisely. And things will work out for the better because we have the Queen of Pentacles here. Someone who is privy to a style of life that you are trying to manifest, right? Now, what follows is the Page of Cups. Now, the Page of Cups here, followed by the Queen of Pentacles that are right behind the King of Swords in reverse, is indicating there's a lot of emotion you need to get right within yourself. And you can be like, I always do, or I have been working on that. It's a non-stop thing, right? Because depending on how you grew up, there are things that have to be unlearned, things that have to be relearned, and things you have yet to learn, right? Because we don't know all, but we've had experiences that may have tainted the way we see things. And so in order to, it's kind of like the how do you harness power without utilizing that for bad. That's why the King of Swords in reverse is here. Is you're constantly reminded, at least through these past readings that I've had, that you have this ability, this gift to be able to work things in your favor, but don't take advantage of that capability, right? It's understandable that you want a specific way of life for your happiness, for your future, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the Page of Cups here is telling you that there are things to unlearn, relearn, and things that you're going to be learning for the first time that is very pertinent when it comes to achieving your ultimate happiness, your emotional fulfillment, right? So what does that mean? It's just saying be careful. Be careful to not let it get to your head, right? Like there is that discourse that people will have with the concept of like, know that you're a baddie, but be humble. And then there's some people that believe like, well, if I'm a baddie, why do I have to humble myself? And it's not for others, it's just for you, right? It's not the concept of like, if you know what you are worth, right? If you know what you are worth, why do you have to let me give you a better example. We all know someone or have seen it in shows if you don't know someone personally, of someone who came from nothing and then all of a sudden they live a life or they have this air about them that like their poo don't stink, right? And it drives us nuts because we're like, hey, you're acting like you've never had to struggle for food and like you never had to wear someone else's clothes or you've never had to like pinch pennies. And it's not to say that you can't show off what you've earned, because that's not what it's saying. It's just that don't reach a level in which you, because we don't know what may be taken from us at any moment, right? Whether it's a loved one, whether it's a resource, anything can happen in this world. And not forgetting the roots that you came from that helped you survive in order to now thrive, it's just that indicator of like, yes, looking back is just gratitude, especially during this pink Libra moon. It's not just about how much self-love and self-care that you're giving and how much love you're giving into relationships, but how much gratitude you're giving to these lessons that you've learned. And honoring where you have come is a good thing, right? Now, we have the 10 of Cups. This is what we're aspiring to, emotional fulfillment, and we're learning how to anticipate that, right? To everything that we've been working so hard to achieve. Now, we have the 8 of Swords and the 2 of Wands in reverse, similar to the 2 of Swords in reverse, especially when it comes to looking back at the past and bad habits. This is, again, a reminder. We have the 8 of Swords. The 8 of Swords is that indicator of struggle. It is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just that reminder of trying to think of how I want to word it. And I had it right now, I just went on a different tangent, so I got lost. Similarly, the Two of Wands is that indicator of indecisiveness and knowing, but I don't want to explain this. The Eight of Swords, struggle is not the word that I want to use, right? What I'm trying to say is that it's kind of like a stalemate is not the word I want to say. Okay. The Eight of Swords are thoughts. They're negative thoughts. They're thoughts that keep you from moving, right? And so when we have the Eight of Swords that are followed by the Two of Wands in reverse, it's kind of similar to, wait, hold on. I'm going to make sure that I'm not mixing up my words. It's the Eight of Swords followed by the Two of Wands in reverse, similarly to the Eight of Wands with the Two of Swords in reverse. How interesting that it's Eight of Swords, Two of Swords. Eight of Wands, Two of Swords, oh my God. Okay. You hear what I'm saying, right? It's Wands, Swords, Wands, Swords. That's what the thing is. Eight of Wands, Two of Swords, Eight of Swords, Two of Wands. Okay. It's like a strange mirror here. 8, 8, 2, 2. 2, 2 in reverse, 8, 8 upright. There's a lot of internal that's going on, which is why it's very important to practice self-love at this time. These negative thoughts, indecision, and feeling you don't feel sturdy or strong enough in the choices to make to move forward, especially when this is happening so fast. You have to get right with your emotions. This is all Wands and Cups and Swords. We have the King of Cups. We have the King of Cups upright. There's a lot that has to do with emotions here and how you speak about yourself in this. Mentally, the things that you think. I've mentioned this before, where a lot of the times that, especially when we have to unlearn and relearn things with this Page of Cups, it's that indication of like negative self-talk is a huge factor of how we are able to grow, right? And a lot of the times, if you had an unhealthy home life in the past, you may have negative self-talk that keeps you from making a decision, because if you come from a Latino household where like that you're called mensa, pendeja, pendejo, tonto, stupid, whatever, right? All that negative self-talk. And sometimes that stays inside. And that voice isn't your voice. It's someone else's voice that rings in your mind. And that's what this is saying, that all that insecurity that you feel is someone else's voice. It's not your own. You're trying to inhabit this. You can't have a strong sense of self if you hold on to voices that don't belong to you, and that keeps you from making these decided decisions in moving forward, and you stay back in the past when you were called these things. But when you start wanting to have emotional fulfillment, it's because you are learning things. You keep pouring for cups that are unfull, and you're tired. But you need to pour into yourself first before you can pour into others, in order to have the emotional fulfillment that you've been striving for. This is with the Nine of Cups. But that cannot be achieved if the world that you are living is a world for someone else. So the world in reverse is here. It's reminding you that you need to live your life for you. You can't keep living a life for somebody else. You can't live. There's people that say they live for their parents. They live for their children. Eventually, but they have their own lives. They have a small part to, not small part, but they do play a part in your lives. But your parents have lived a life fully outside of you, and your children will continue to grow and live a life outside of you. Where is your life? You're giving this power away, which is why you can't make that decision, because you're so busy thinking about other people, you have no time to think about yourself, and that is a bad habit. You can't give away the world that you live in because it's yours. You are not a co-actor in your life. You are the primary actor of your own life. You're a co-actor in someone else's life. You're a co-actor in your parents' lives. You're a co-actor in your children's lives. You are the primary actor of your own life. This is your sitcom. This is your movie. This is your life. So how are you going to give that world to someone else? How are you going to be a co-actor in your own life? You can't be. And what happens when you keep living for someone else? You're burnt out. The Four of Swords in reverse. You are burnt out. You are tired. Things aren't going to move because you're busy giving that energy away to other people. So then what happens? We have the Six of Swords. You got to release what no longer serves you, right? This is a sense of victory, overcoming struggles. You are there. You are there with that sense of letting go what no longer serves you in order to start building something that you've been wanting in order for yourself to be fulfilled, right? To have that total fulfillment, to have that sense of peace and happiness. This is what you're working towards. Now, we're going to end this with the Ten of Wands in reverse. Now, this is all about release. The Ten of Wands in reverse is about release, letting go what no longer serves you. You can't do it all. You can't carry it all. That's that reminder. You have to turn the world upside. Well, I mean, your world's already upside down because you're letting other people live the world for you. You need to turn it right side up. And remember, it's your world. So, Mighty Fates, what additional lesson do you have for those that are watching this? Remember, guys, these are just, these readings are primarily just reminders. They're reminders of what you need to hear again. And sometimes I feel like it's the same thing over and over, but I understand that not everyone gets to see these when they're meant to see these. Or rather, when they come out, they're seeing them when they need to see them. When I pray over these cards, I pray that these help you, for those who are seeking guidance, assistance, protection, and healing. And whoever needs that guidance is what comes out. Ooh, here we go. Interesting card. We have the Revolutionary. Pretty apt for what's going on in the world today. Let's see. We have the Revolutionary. What does the Revolutionary have to add to this reading? Here we go. The Revolutionary states, the Revolutionary card is asking you to challenge the status quo, or challenge that word. Whether it's external or internal, the Revolutionary seeks to do things radically different. Like the outlaw, the Revolutionary has ideals that can be viewed as out there. They are a natural leader and can see what the collective needs and are able to put it into action. They invite others to be a part of building the world with them. The Revolutionary invites us to bring some of the trailblazing energy and apply it to our situation and life. How can you meet the needs of the collective? How can you lead with integrity? Be aware that working with revolutionary energy does not always translate to being accepted and loved. You will have people that support you, but your work can also attract naysayers. This just means it is potent and worthwhile. Do not let anyone affect how you stand in the world. Allow their words to fuel your fire and keep going. A balanced revolutionary leads and empowers. They are not afraid to be direct and deliver a harsh message when necessary, but they do so with love. They are the original thinkers that push the envelope. They are all about questioning things and inviting others to do the same. They are truth seekers, but are fluid in how they find the truth. In the quest for the good of the greater collective, an unbalanced revolutionary may become oppressive and use tactics that can be harmful. They may also become tyrannical and unable to hear others because they have some unbalanced ego issues. So remember that concept of not using your abilities for something bad. And let's finish this reading with an animal spirit guides. What last thing do you have to say? So remind you, it's the full moon. It is time to manifest what you truly want, but make sure that what you truly want isn't just for others, but for how you will feel balanced and how you will feel cared for, and then how you will feel good for you. We have the dragonfly spirit, truth transcends illusion, and we have the groundhog spirit, time to let go. Remember, release. So dragonfly spirit, here we go. Dragonfly spirit is here to remind you of the wisdom and truth available at all times in the hidden realms. Just as a dragonfly catches your eye with its reflective wings and body, dragonfly spirit appears to tell you to pay attention to the truth beyond the illusion and recognize the insights that come seemingly out of nowhere, peeking through from behind the veil. In the realm of spirit, there is far more wisdom that you can perceive with your senses, and there is a deep knowing that you are not separate or alone, for a higher power recognizes you and loves you beyond measure. Fears dissipate when you realize you are embraced by the nurturing force that is everywhere, always in communication with you. Alighting when you are preoccupied, Dragon Spirit offers this message. You exist in unity with all, including the protective spirits who share their wisdom, and you are being nudged along the path your soul needs to travel to have the experiences it craves. Love exists in many forms, and sometimes we overlook it when we don't recognize a particular form. Pay attention to the signs now. They remind you that each of us have inspired dreams seamlessly sewn into the fabric of the invisible world. And there is a great consciousness that exists in the seemingly empty spaces, guiding us on our journey. Open to the truth, letting the wisdom of the hidden realms inform you, providing insights your conscious mind overlooks. Did you really think this world of the senses is all there is? From the hidden mystical realms, signs are being sent to you. Perhaps you have perceived separation and convinced yourself that you are on your own. Have you fallen into spiritual amnesia and forgotten your connection to a living, loving, and always supportive universe? If so, rub the sleep out of your eyes, for Dragon Spirit is here to remind you of all the love and support available to you in every moment. There is an organizing principle underlying the events you have experienced, and Dragonfly Spirit can help you see it and trust that Spirit has your back. Let go of the illusion of chaos and randomness. Love is here, so follow the signs that appear serendipitously as you pay attention to the magic all around you. You will know you are on the right track. Ooh, well said. Now, Groundhog Spirit. Here we go. Time to let go. Endings lead to beginnings, and death is a part of life. So Groundhog Spirit is here to let you know it is time to accept the natural ending of something that is no longer serving you. We love to hold on to what is familiar, but the new needs space to arrive so growth can occur. When Groundhog Spirit appears, it is a sign that there is something in your present situation that you need to let go of, so that something new can be born, something that will be far better serve you now. I need more coffee. When the groundhog sees his shadow, he retreats to his den. So too might you yearn for a little more time to say goodbye and transition into the new. Six of Cups. However, change is coming, and it is good. So let go of your resistance. Spring brings many blessings, and what must die will always be reborn into a new form that will be right for you. Life requires change and detachment. Say farewell to whatever once served you and get ready for something amazing to take its place. Spirit is already sending it your way. Have you been relentless in your efforts to revive something that has passed its time and needs to die away? A situation, a relationship, a belief, or a habit that served you once but no longer fills you with vitality? Perhaps you automatically expect to see the world through a specific lens based on the familiar. Groundhog Spirit has appeared to let you know it's time to accept that the past is the past. So allow yourself to feel the loss and grieve it if you need to. Any sadness will not last forever or overwhelm you. Knowing Spirit is with you and wants you to experience joy and excitement again will help you through this transition from the old to the new. That's beautiful. Keep your eyes open, for winter always gives way to spring, and the endings always give birth to beginnings. For now, let yourself feel your emotions, releasing them to make way for joy that awaits you. Spring and new growth are on their way, for it's Spirit's promise to you. Oh my God, that made me want to cry. That's beautiful. I know quite a few people that are feeling something like this, and so it's a beautiful message. So I genuinely hope this reading helped, and like always, I'll see you guys next time.